What if your biggest enemy isn't failure, but your own brain? Imagine climbing toward your biggest dream. You're only one step away. Then suddenly, you stop climbing. No one pushed you. No obstacle appeared. Yet something inside tells you to quit. Maybe you felt this before. An important exam. A business idea you never launched. A project you kept delaying. A relationship you were afraid to begin. Or a dream you quietly abandoned. Most people call this laziness. Others blame weak discipline. But what if they're both wrong? What if your brain isn't destroying your future, but trying to protect you? That changes everything. The strange part is, self-sabotage rarely feels intentional. It feels completely reasonable. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow somehow becomes next week. Then next month. Eventually, the opportunity disappears. And you wonder what went wrong. The answer is more surprising than you think. Because the closer success gets, the harder your brain may fight to stop you. For 6 months, he climbed without stopping. One careful step after another. The impossible finally felt possible. Tonight was different. Only one final action remained. Just one click. His finger hovered over the button. His heart suddenly raced. Then he closed the laptop. He whispered, "Tomorrow." He believed himself. But he'd said that many times before. This wasn't his first unfinished dream. It wasn't even his second. It was becoming a pattern. 3 weeks earlier, everything looked different. He woke up full of energy. Nothing seemed impossible. Then tiny excuses began to appear. A break became an hour. An hour became another missed day. He blamed stress. He blamed bad timing. But the same thing always happened near the finish line. The closer he climbed, the heavier every step felt. Almost as if someone was pulling him backward. But nobody else was there. The invisible resistance came from inside. And that changed the mystery completely. Maybe he wasn't afraid of climbing. Maybe he feared what waited at the top. That possibility changes everything. Psychologists have studied this pattern for decades. The results surprised almost everyone. Self-sabotage rarely begins with laziness. It often begins with fear. Not fear of failing, but fear of succeeding. Success changes your life. It brings new expectations, new responsibilities, and sometimes a completely new identity. Your brain notices every one of those changes. The brain has one ancient mission: keep you alive, keep you safe. To your brain, the familiar often feels safer than the unknown, even when the familiar makes you unhappy. This is why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that slowly drain them, or routines that hold them back. Comfort isn't always happiness. Sometimes it's simply predictability, and predictability feels safe. The brain quietly asks one question: what if success changes everything? What if you can't handle it? Without realizing it, you begin delaying important actions. Making excuses feels strangely reasonable. That's the hidden trap. Your brain believes it's protecting you, even while it keeps you exactly where you are. Here's the good news. Your brain is not your enemy. It's an overprotective bodyguard. It learned these fears for a reason. But old protection can become a new prison, only if you never question it. Real change begins with awareness. Notice the moment you want to quit. Pause before you obey that feeling. Ask yourself one simple question: what am I really afraid of? The answer may surprise you. Maybe it's failure, or maybe it's the pressure after success. Either way, you found a real battle. Fear loses power when it's finally named. The hidden becomes visible, and visible problems can be solved. Take one small step anyway, not because you feel fearless, but because courage always comes first. Remember the ladder from the beginning. It never became shorter. Only your perspective changed. The broken chains weren't outside you. They were inside your mind. And now they're beginning to break. Success was never your greatest threat. Living below your true potential was.